Hi everyone, my name is Kevin and I'm going to talk about my publication proposal. Um, for my publication, this assignment, I pick up design activism as my topic, and design activism is about using the skills in your design talents as a designer to make a social change. And in the midst of the COVID-19, Asian hate has become an issue. Many Asians have been discriminated in Western countries and become the victim of violence crimes. So I want to use Asian hate, this topic, as my example in design activism. Here's my manuscript summary. The first thing I'm going to talk about is trying to define what is design activism. So I will talk about what is the definition of the design activism, and the people will misunderstanding the design activism. So we talk about it again also. So to generate activism as well, and also the discussion from the teachers or professor on design activism. And I pick up Asian hate as my example in this topic. So I will giving a little bit information about it, and also I will give out the example of the Asian hate, like what's the movement, what's the design movement, all the example in the dot 3 point and dot 4 point, like the stop Asian hate and also the stop discrimination. And at the end, I will put the voice of the artist. This is my research from online, and I want to use her voice to convince people to support our movement for the Asian hate. And here's a work example. The first working example is trying to tell people what is the advantage and what is a good thing about the Asian culture. So this may be um, trying to prevent the Asian hate issue. So, and the second one is the example I'm doing, like the voice of the girls, and she's Asian born in America. So she'll talk about what her feelings and as an Asian in America and in the other countries. Is she Asian? Like she's an Asian girl, but is she American or she Chinese? That's what her project to show us. And my purpose and audience. The purpose of this document, this publication, is to explain and definition of the design activism to the audience. In this publication, we use Asian hate issue as an example, make more audience to aware about this issue, and by using the voice of the artist and the designer. The audience would be all genders, and age range would be 18 to 50 years old. To the audience who don't know about Asian hate issue and want to know more about the design activism and how the design work on activism. Here's the contents, my draft planning for my final publication. Excuse. Here's a here's some of the research I find it online, which is kind of interesting. Some of this is the Korean version, like I look all the international things around in the Pinterest. So yeah, here's what I find out and want to do kind of things as well in my publication. Here's a benchmark. The first one, as you can see, is using the illustration, which is kind of interesting. That I really want to do as well. So this publication is made by Philip, and the illustration is made by Diana. This is pretty good as the page is really clean, and the reader will be kind of like it's more clear to see what the information inside this book. So some of the space emptying is kind of good for my publication as well. And the second one is a festival booklet, something like that. And this publication using the main color is wet color, so which is really standing out. So for my publication, I also would pick up one main color to make the theme, like to take out the theme of my publication. Here's a creative direction. I want to do something like the typography thing style for my cover. Here's like a dropping shadow. It seems like a movement, so it's kind of interesting. The second direction is the illustration version. Like I really like this, which is using 3 different colors, like something like brown and dark color and some bright color, which is defining skin tones colors. I think it's kind of interesting. And here's my grid setting, my typeface. I like the font as the heading one. This one is kind of like the handwriting, so it's kind of interesting and make me feel like, that's like a movement they're doing. And this is the second typeface. And here's my poster. And the first one I'm using Illustrator. I mean illustration. Yes, like an Asian girl and wearing a mask with 3 words, Stop Asian Hate, which is really standing out the topic. And the second one, I'm using typography styles, which is like a dropping shadow, but in like both of the way. So yeah, here's my presentation. Thank you.